Good morning, dear students. I, Vidyasagar, welcome you all in the e-learning class of Modern International Viswa. I'm going to start subject Geography of Standard 8, and this is fourth video lecture on the chapter 2, Land, Water, Natural Resources, Natural Vegetation. So, dear students, now we are going to discuss about natural vegetation and wildlife. So, the natural vegetation, the first it is that those vegetation which grow up in a particular area without the interference of the human being, those are considered as the natural vegetation, and those animals which survive in those areas, they are considered as the wildlife. Like some of the school children, they're watching the handcraft and they found out that some of the particular matters, they are made up of the silk, some are made up of the jute. Then they have think about it, and then they came to know by their teacher that these are particularly made up from the trees, from the different trees which are the part of our natural vegetations. So dear students, the natural vegetation you can and the wildlife exist in the narrow zone of the earth where the hydrosphere, biosphere and atmosphere both meet at the same point. That point is known as biosphere, and further this place became the area from where this could be the natural vegetation could be derived, as the interdependent between the living organism and the into the living organism and living beings, these are further depends upon a life supporting system that is known as ecosystem. It means the system on which they are dependent, and they are interdependent on each other. Like the food chain, you must be can know about that each and every one, they are dependent upon each other for the food chain, and further this food chain tells us about the ecosystem. Okay, so vegetation and the wildlife are valuable resources, and the plants, like they produce us the timber, give shelter to the animals, produce oxygen we breathe, and also protect the soil, as we have discussed earlier about the soil conservation through these natural vegetations, and also gives a better storage of underground water, gives us fruits, nuts, etc. And many of the medicinal plants also get from these plants. It means we cannot assume that how much we are totally dependent upon our natural vegetation, but nowadays as the population is growing, their demand is growing, then forests are being cleared, then the natural animals, then the wildlife, they are getting in desert. They don't have the areas from where they could survive, as these forest area, they are being converted into the areas for the agricultures, and they are being converted for the area for the construction of the houses. So these are the things which have been made up, and this also led to a great problem for them. Like the wildlife animals, like the bird, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. Aquatic, it means those animals which live in the water and provide us the milk, hides and wools. Insects like bees provide us honey and pollination of flowers. Pollination, it means to spread the seed from one place to another place. And they also, some of the animals, some of the birds like the vultures, they also have ability to feed the dead animals and just clean the environment, because as we know, dead and decaying animals, when it will be remain kept in some of the areas, then our area will get polluted, the air pollution will be there. But see, these vultures, they are such kind of animals, they having the ability that they are cleaning the environment. Now the so these big and small animals, they are integral to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. It means without the help of the as we know that each and every person having the role to development in their society. So there it is also mentioned that these animals have also the part to to develop the or to keep the clean in the environment. Now, distribution of natural vegetation. As we know, the basically different five types of natural vegetation are there. First, you can know the evergreen forest, then tropical deciduous forest, then the thorny forest or thorny bushes, you can say, then the desert plants, and finally the tundra vegetations. These are the basically vegetations which are found and grows in the different areas. At that areas where the geographical condition as well as the favorable climatic condition used to favor them. Like in those areas where the heavy rainfall used to be happen, these forests are thus associated with the having abundant water supply. It means you can say the tropical rainforest. These are the rainforests where this type of like the rosewood, mahogany, this type of trees used to grow there, because these trees, they are demanded the ever water supply. And the further the moderate rainfall forming the grassland of the walls and thorny shrubs and thorny grasses, these all grows in such areas where there is less rainfall. You can say there is scarcity of water. That's why they are in the that shape, because they could, their roots are very deep. These thorny bushes, their roots are very deep, and these are very deep because they could get the water. And they also having the thorns because they also not let the waters comes out, and that's why these type of thorny bushes always found there. Like the forest, these are broadly classified as evergreen and deciduous. Now I have told you the deciduous, it means those moderate forest where the in our cultures we used to see that those forests where this type of plants, the trees are found. These are known as the deciduous, means the mid temperature as well as the mid rainfall is found there. Like the deciduous forest shed their leaves in a particular season, but the evergreen forest, they used to shed their leaves in all the time, and deciduous, they shed their leaves at the particular time. So there is a far differences. They get the water regularly, but these forests, they get the water at a fixed time, like the in the rainy season. And both type of further classified into tropical or temperate based on their location in the different countries. Like today, there are more than many of the peoples in the world than there were in the 2 centuries back. Yes, this is the true, and this is one of the true fact which is affecting the all the factors, because population is the only need. We have to feed them, we have to give shelter them, and in that process we are clearing our forest, we are destroying our natural environment, and these are the things by which we are not controlling of us. Now, conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Like forest, these are our wealth. It means these are such immense wealth which gives us oxygen, which gives us timbers, which provide us shelter for the wildlife animals. But for our own purpose, we just clearing our forest and we are just tiling them for the agricultural land. See, the changing of the climates is, and human interference can cause the loss of natural habitat for the plants and animals. And as the climatic changes used to be happen, so we are also responsible, somehow we are also responsible for that. Because suppose if our need is to be make out the shelters, but this should also be happen that we must also plant the tree. Yesterday it was the world environment day, so dear students, you must have to be careful, or you must have to be aware the other peoples, that we also plant the more and more trees, through which we could get the benefit now and forever. And due to the continuous cuttings and clearing the forest, the lot of the animals and the species, they are getting endangered. It means they are at such the limits that they are about to extinct, and this only happens when we are clearing their natural habitat. Like the some of the animals, they are being killed for their skin hides, like the tigers, lion and elephants, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, and these can be conserved by increasing awareness. Some of the measures which have been initiated by the government, like the natural park, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves, these are also made up for protection of our natural environments as well as the wildlife. But conservation of creeks, lakes, and wetlands is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. Like one of the recent program launched by our CM Nitish Kumar, Jan Jeevan Haryali Yojana. In that program, the same initiative was mentioned there, that we are holding our hands and made a new human records, that we will keep our environment clean as well as keep our environment green. But people's nowadays, they are doing this work for a day, and they ever used to engaged in their own work. But think about that the place you are living, if that place is not clean, then how you could get the clean environment, how you will get the fresh air? So these are the things we have to keep in our mind to keep our environment clean. Like some of the awareness program also has been launched, like the social forestry and one mahotsav, that should also be encouraged at the regional and community level. Community level, it means those level from which the group of the people should join it, as well as we should also be encouraged to visit the nature's camps and appreciate the habit of the varied species. Like we should also take care of the natural environment, and we should also spread our affection toward the animals as well as the trees, because we are the protectors of the upcoming world. Nowadays, as we have seen that the virus, the which has been attacked us, it created a havoc, and it has just locked us within our houses. But one of the effect you will see, that all the peoples, all the transport, all the pollution, these were stopped, then our environment get clean. Our rivers which were being polluted by the industries, they also get being clean. And this would happen, that if human, they will not interfere with the natural environment, then it will clean itself. This also gives us the message. So like the many countries, they have also passed the law from which they have banned about killing of the birds and animals. In India, killing lion, tigers and deers and Indian bustard and peacocks is also illegal. But some of the peoples, they are not going to stop. Their conspiracy is not going to stop them. So the international convention, which was named as CITES, has been Convention for International Trade and Endangered Species. It means those endangered species which have been at the level of the extinct, thus how they should be stopped. And like those of the birds in which the trade is prohibited, conservation of plants and animals is ethical duty of every citizen. Okay, dear student, read the paragraph and keep watching. Thank you.